They was there. And Sven, he was digging a hole and piling the dirt up. And Ole would come along and he'd take the dirt and fill it back in and tamp it down and then pour a bucket of water on there. Well, they kept doing this all day long, and this guy had been watching them, and he kind of says, boys, I never seen anybody dig such a nice hole and then fill it back in again. But he says, I don't quite get what you're doing. And Ole says, oh, it'd make a lot more sense if Lars were here. He's the one that puts in the trees. Yeah, sure, you betcha. Yeah. Well, one day, Ole decided it was time for Lina to go to the beauty parlor. So he says, Lina, get in truck, I take you to town, the beauty parlor. And so Lina, she got in the truck. Yeah, she did. And they drive it into town. And Lina gets out of the truck and goes into beauty parlor. And about, it must have been an hour and a half later, out she comes with the piece of paper. And Ole says, what is that? And she said, an estimate. And he says, well, how soon can they do the work? And she says, well, they do got the empty chair right now. So he said, well, why don't you go back in and see if they can do it and get the job done there. So Lina goes back in, and by golly, about 2 hours later, out she comes. And Ole says, by holy, I tell you what, they did a good job. She looks darn right, almost beautiful. Now, and so she gets by the truck, and he says, Lina, how about you and me? We go across the street to the park. How about we go for a walk in the park? And you know what Lina said? We've been working on this all night. Yeah, sure, you betcha. Yeah, you got it. Yeah. So off they went into the park, and they took a walk together, holding the hands and everything. It was a beautiful day. The sky was between those two blues there. It was so beautiful. And the trees were waving around, and the flowers were starting to bloom, and the lilacs were blooming, and you could smell the lilacs. And they was walking along in the park, and the little wispy white clouds were floating across the sky. And a little bird came and flew overhead, and right on Lina's new hairdo. And Lina said, Ole, would you please go get some toilet paper? Ole says, I don't know what good that do. That bird gonna be about half-mile away. Yeah.
Ole. Let's give him a big clap. Oh, yeah.